Would you please stand up and stretch out your arms like this for me, please, without murdering the person next to you? So Amy Cuddy is a professor at Harvard University, and she calls this a power pose. And what Cuddy has found is that if you stand in a power pose for just 45 more minutes, just kidding. If you stand in a power pose for just 2 minutes, Cuddy has found that you will boost your testosterone level by 8%. Ladies, don't worry. That is not the equivalent of a sex change operation. Testosterone is actually the chemical basis of confidence and dominance. You'll also reduce your cortisol level. That's a stress hormone implicated in weight retention. So if you overdid it at the T, this is good too. Now, let's say you've got to go and do a big presentation to your team and you're not feeling so confident. Walking in like this is probably not the best thing to do. However, if beforehand you stand in the bathroom cubicle, preferably lock the cubicle door, you then go out normally, research shows you will be perceived as significantly more confident even though they don't know you've been standing in the power pose. Aristotle used to tell men going to war, if you don't feel courageous, act courageous, and feeling will follow. I call it changing ourselves from the outside in. Now you can gently lower your arms, but I want you to remain with what I call positive posture. What is positive posture? You smile, lift your chins, stick out your chests. Ladies, don't hold back. And notice how it changes the way that you feel. Beautiful. Thank you very much. You can sit down. So over the past 16 years, my mission has been to inspire and equip people and organizations to realize their potential. And I do this through a number of programs that I present. Any program that you select will be customized to your specific conference objectives as established at a briefing meeting. I do this through the various books that I've written. And it's really all about potential. But one of the beautiful things about the free market is that it pushes you to tune in to what people really need and then create products to serve them. That's really why I think business is a spiritual pursuit. It gets us to create and serve. Well, I never thought I would be talking to you about this new program. I only realized quite recently how imperative this is, specifically for one of my clients, to realize their potential. So last year I was brought in by one of the big four accounting firms to do my presentation, What's Your Story, at their Africa conference. And afterwards the CEO called me and he said, Justin, we've got to go and we've got to pitch what we do. And he said, we've got a big pitch coming up. It's a tough one. It's one of the banks, and London has lost the pitch, and we've got to see if we can get it in South Africa. I don't know what you can do, but work with the guys for a week and see what you can come up with. Now, accountants, as you know, are not the most scintillating communicators. If an accountant's wife can't fall asleep, she says to her husband, darling, tell me about your day. But little brag, after working with them, at the end of the pitch, the assessment committee of the bank stood up and applauded, and they won the business. And afterwards, they asked me to come in and work on a program called Pitch to Win that they would then roll out through the business. And what struck me was, when I went to speak to them originally, and we sat down and looked at their product offering, there was no doubt their offering was better. The London guys I'm talking about, and the South African guys, but the London offering was better than their competitors. And yet they lost. And what struck me was, you can have the best product, but that's not enough. You've got to have the best pitch. And so I put together this 2-day program called Pitch to Win, and it really, I had no intention of talking about it, but Paul said to me, at Unique Speaker Bureau, we do things a little differently. He said, why don't we offer it? I said, well, it's not a keynote. He said, well, why don't you put together a really great keynote that outlines the 6 keys to a winning pitch, and why don't you do it for free? I said, Paul, sorry, what have you been smoking? He said, yeah, because then that'll give them an opportunity to get the 6 keys, and then if they want, they can bring you in for the 2 days, but that's no obligation. I said, Paul. Now, either Paul is incredibly clever or I'm incredibly stupid, but I said, yes, let's try it. At Unique Speaker Bureau, they do things uniquely. So what we're offering you is, you can bring me in to your team, no cost. I will do the 1-hour keynote, Pitch to Win, and you can then decide whether you think this is something that your teams can use. And for just 4 of those minutes, I'll talk about the 2 days. They'll really be great content. Warren Buffett, probably the world's greatest investor, said that he would invest $100,000 to take 10% of the future earnings of a group of business graduates. But if they could present, persuade, and close a deal, he would double his bid. It's not enough to have a great product. You've got to have a great pitch. If you'd like me to come into your business at no cost to do pitch to win, it would be my privilege. Thank you very much.